My girlfriend told me calmly, "You'd make a terrible husband. You don't have the strength real men have." She said this right after I discovered the hotel receipts. With her ex's initials on them, I just mailed those same receipts to her ex's wife with a simple note. "You deserve the truth before he lies again." The next morning, my phone lit up non-stop. But the real shock came when someone else showed up at my door. I'm Kevin, 33, and until 2 weeks ago, I thought I was in a committed relationship heading toward marriage. Turns out, I was just the stable option, while my girlfriend explored whether the grass was greener with her supposedly over ex-boyfriend. What she didn't count on was me actually having a backbone when it mattered. I'd been with Lauren for 3 years. We met at a friend's wedding, hit it off immediately, and fell into an easy rhythm. She was a marketing manager, ambitious and social. I liked that about her. She had drive. We talked about getting engaged soon, maybe next spring. Her parents loved me. My parents loved her. Everything seemed to be heading in the right direction. About 2 months ago, Lauren started acting different, not drastically, just small things. She was on her phone more, especially late at night. She'd go to the bathroom to take calls. She started picking fights about minor things. How I loaded the dishwasher, how I never wanted to go to the fancy restaurants she liked, how I was too comfortable and didn't challenge myself enough. I'm not an idiot. I know what those signs usually mean. But when I asked if something was wrong, she'd say she was just stressed about work. A big client, demanding deadlines, the usual. I wanted to believe her because the alternative was too painful to consider. Then came last Tuesday. Lauren was in the shower, and her phone kept buzzing on the nightstand. I wasn't trying to snoop. I thought it might be important. Maybe her mom calling about dinner plans. I picked it up and saw texts from a contact saved as Jamie C. The messages were, "Not from her mom." "Last night was incredible. When can I see you again?" And, "I can't stop thinking about you." My stomach dropped. I opened the conversation thread and scrolled up weeks of messages. Flirty at first, then explicit, then making plans. Hotel names, times, excited emojis. And then I saw it. A photo he'd sent of a hotel room key card. I zoomed in on the receipt visible in the photo. The name on the credit card, James Castellano. J.C. James. Lauren's ex-boyfriend from before me. The one she'd dated for 2 years in her mid-20s. The one she said she'd outgrown. The one who was now married with a kid. I heard the shower turn off. I quickly took photos of the text thread with my own phone, put her phone back exactly where it was, and left the bedroom. Went to the kitchen and started making coffee with shaking hands. Lauren came out 15 minutes later in her bathrobe, hair wrapped in a towel, smiling like nothing was wrong. "Morning, babe. Want to grab brunch today?" I looked at her. This woman I'd spent 3 years with. This woman I'd been planning a future with. "Sure," I said. "Brunch sounds good." I needed time to think, to process, to figure out what to do with what I'd just discovered. We went to brunch. She talked about work, about her friend's baby shower next month, about wanting to repaint the living room. I nodded and made appropriate responses while my brain screamed at me to confront her. But I didn't. Not yet. That afternoon, while Lauren was at a yoga class, I did something I'm not proud of, but don't regret. I went through her laptop. She'd left it open on the dining table, still logged into her email. I searched for hotel confirmations, found them 3 different hotels over the past 6 weeks, all confirmations sent to her email, all charged to her credit card. I took screenshots of everything and emailed them to myself. When Lauren got home, I was sitting on the couch with my laptop. She came over and kissed the top of my head. "What are you working on?" "Just catching up on some stuff," I said. Then I turned the laptop so she could see the screen. Hotel receipts, all lined up. "Want to explain these?" Her face went white, then red. Then she closed the laptop. "You went through my email?" "You're cheating on me with your married ex-boyfriend. Let's not pretend you have the moral high ground here." She sat down on the chair across from me, not next to me on the couch. That told me everything. It's not what you think, she started. It's exactly what I think. You've been sleeping with James for at least 6 weeks, probably longer. Kevin? Does his wife know? She looked away. That's not my problem. Not your problem? You're sleeping with a married man and destroying his family, and it's not your problem? His marriage was already broken. He told me they're basically roommates at this point. I laughed. Actually laughed. And you believed him? Lauren, he's feeding you the oldest line in the book. You don't understand what James and I have. It's different than what you and I have. It's passionate and exciting and he's married with a kid. She stood up, suddenly angry. You know what? Maybe this is for the best. You and me. We're not right for each other, Kevin. You're too passive, too boring. You'd make a terrible husband. You don't have the strength real men have. I sat there absorbing that. The woman I'd loved for 3 years had just called me weak and boring while defending her affair with a married man. Get out, I said quietly. What? Get out of my apartment. We're done. Pack your stuff and leave. Kevin, I live here. The lease is in my name. You're not on it. I want you gone by tomorrow. She stared at me like she couldn't believe I was actually standing up to her. Then she grabbed her purse and left, slamming the door behind her. I sat there for a long time. Then I did what needed to be done. Update 1. That night, I looked up James Castellano on social media. Found him easily. He wasn't even hard to find. Married to a woman named Diana. They had a 3-year-old daughter. Diana's profile was public, full of family photos and posts about being a stay-at-home mom. She looked happy. She had no idea her husband was destroying their family. I printed out the hotel receipts, all of them. Wrote a simple note. Diana, you deserve to know the truth before he lies to you again. Your husband James has been having an affair with his ex-girlfriend Lauren Mitchell. Here's the proof. I'm sorry to be the one to tell you this. A friend. I put it all in an envelope, addressed it to Diana at the address listed on James's business website, and mailed it the next morning. Lauren came by the next day to get her things. She'd been staying at her friend's place. We didn't speak much. She packed her clothes, her books, her kitchen gadgets she'd brought over the years. When she was done, she stood by the door. I'm sorry it ended this way, she said. I'm not, I replied. Better now than after we were married. She left. I changed the locks that afternoon. The next morning, Wednesday, exactly 1 week after I'd discovered everything, my phone started going crazy. Calls from unknown numbers, texts from numbers I didn't recognize. Then a call from Lauren. I answered. What? What did you do? She was screaming. What the hell did you do, Kevin? I don't know what you're talking about. You sent those receipts to Diana. James's wife knows everything. She's losing her mind. She's threatening divorce. What the hell is wrong with you? I told you it wasn't your problem. I made it your problem. You're a vindictive, petty... I hung up. Blocked her number. Then James called from a different number. I answered. You son of a... Hi, James. How's married life? You had no right... Your wife had every right to know her husband was cheating on her. I gave her information she deserved to have. What she does with it is up to her. You've destroyed my family. No, you destroyed your family when you started sleeping with your ex-girlfriend. I just made sure your wife knew about it instead of living a lie. He called me several more names before I hung up and blocked that number too. Then there was a knock at my door. It was 9 a.m. on a Wednesday. I looked through the peephole and saw a woman I didn't recognize. Mid-30s, blonde, holding a baby carrier. I opened the door. Can I help you? Are you Kevin? Yes? I'm Diana, James's wife. Update 2. I invited Diana in. She set the baby carrier down in the entryway. Her daughter was asleep inside. We went to the living room and I got her a glass of water. She looked exhausted, like she'd been crying for hours. Thank you for telling me, she said, finally. I needed to know. I'm sorry you had to find out this way. Did you know about me? About our daughter? Not until I found out about the affair. Then I looked him up online. I saw your family photos. She nodded, wiping her eyes. I suspected something was off. He'd been distant for months, working late, weird about his phone. But I trusted him. I thought we were happy. I thought the same thing about Lauren. How did you find out? I told her the whole story. The texts on the phone, the hotel receipts, Lauren's confession that it was about passion and excitement. Diana listened, crying quietly. He told me he was working on a special project. That's where he was all those nights. All those weekends he said he had business dinners. She laughed bitterly. And I believed him because I wanted to believe we were okay. What are you going to do? Divorce him. Absolutely. I've already contacted a lawyer. I'm taking everything. The house, full custody, significant child support. He destroyed our family for an affair with his ex. He doesn't get to walk away unscathed. Good, I said. You deserve better. So do you. She looked at me seriously. Your ex-girlfriend called you weak, right? You're not weak. You're honest. That's rare. She left about 30 minutes later. Thanking me again, I watched her load the baby carrier into her car and drive away. Over the next few days, the story spread through mutual friend groups. Lauren's reputation took a massive hit. People who'd been friends with both of us sided with me almost unanimously. Even her own friends were disgusted, sleeping with a married man, destroying a family, and then calling me weak for exposing it. James apparently tried to convince Diana it was all a misunderstanding, that I'd fabricated the receipts. But Lauren had already admitted everything to him in texts, and Diana had access to his phone records now through her lawyer. The evidence was overwhelming. Lauren tried to reach out one more time through her friend Ashley. Ashley called me. Kevin, Lauren wanted me to tell you she's sorry. She says she was confused and made a terrible mistake. She can be sorry. That's fine. But we're done. Completely. She wants to talk to you. To explain. There's nothing to explain. She cheated on me with a married man and called me weak when I found out. Those are the facts. What's there to talk about? Ashley was quiet. Then, you're right. I'm sorry she put you through this. For what it's worth, most of us think you handled this really well. Thanks, Ashley. Update 3. It's been 6 weeks since everything exploded. The divorce between James and Diana is moving forward quickly. Diana's lawyer is apparently brutal, and James is going to lose almost everything. His reputation at work has also taken a hit. Turns out using company credit cards to book hotel rooms for your affair is frowned upon. He's been demoted. Lauren moved out of state 3 weeks ago, got a job transfer to avoid the social fallout here. Before she left, she sent me one final email. No apology, just an attempt at justification. She said I'd never understand what she and James had, that I was too rigid and judgmental to appreciate real passion. She said she hoped I found someone who appreciated my simple nature. I didn't respond. Diana and I have stayed in touch, weirdly enough. Not romantically. We're both way too traumatized for that. But as friends who went through a similar betrayal. She sends me photos of her daughter sometimes, updates on the divorce proceedings. We met for coffee once. It was nice to talk to someone who understood. My friends kept asking if I regret sending those receipts if I think I went too far. Here's the thing, I don't regret it at all. Diana deserved to know. Her daughter deserved to have a mother who wasn't being lied to, and Lauren and James deserved to face consequences for their actions. Some people think I did it out of revenge, and maybe there was an element of that, but mostly I did it because it was the right thing to do. Diana was living a lie, raising a child with a man who was betraying her. She had a right to make informed decisions about her life. I've started dating again. Nothing serious yet. I'm taking my time, being more careful about red flags. The experience with Lauren taught me to trust my instincts. When something feels off, it probably is. Final update. It's been 4 months now. I'm doing well. Better than well, actually. I got promoted at work last month. I've been traveling more. Went to Colorado last week, planning a trip to Ireland in the spring. I'm living my life without someone constantly criticizing me for not being exciting enough. Diana's divorce was finalized 2 weeks ago. She got the house, primary custody of their daughter, and substantial child support. James tried to fight it, but his lawyer advised him to take the settlement because the evidence of the affair, especially using company resources, would make a trial catastrophic for him. Lauren apparently broke up with James about a month ago when she realized he wasn't going to leave his life behind for her. According to mutual friends, she's been posting a lot on social media about toxic men and finding yourself. The irony is not lost on anyone. The craziest development came last week. I ran into James at a coffee shop downtown. He was alone, looking rough. We made eye contact. For a second, I thought he might say something, maybe yell at me. Instead, he just looked away and left quickly. Part of me felt bad for him. He'd lost his wife, his daughter's respect, his home, his career trajectory. But then I remembered he'd made every single one of those choices. He chose to cheat. He chose to lie. He chose to risk everything for an affair. And Lauren chose to participate. Chose to pursue a married man. Chose to betray me and call me weak when I found out. They both made their choices. I just made sure those choices had consequences. Diana sent me a photo yesterday. Her and her daughter at a park, both smiling. The caption said, "New beginnings." She thanked me again for giving her the information she needed to start over. That's what this was all about. Not revenge, though I won't pretend that wasn't satisfying. It was about truth. About making sure someone who was being lied to got the information they deserved, to have Lauren said I didn't have the strength real men have. She was wrong. Real strength isn't about passion or excitement. It's about doing the right thing, even when it's uncomfortable. It's about having integrity, even when it costs you something. I did the right thing, and I'd do it again.